Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Tonight I'm doing a part 2 for the video that I just uploaded onto YouTube about the Ninth Amendment. I am speaking to you about a website that I came across from the Rutherford Institute. I'm going to give you a little heads up on what the Rutherford Institute is and why it's important. It says here the Rutherford Institute is one of the nation's premier civil liberties organizations. Founded in 1982 by constitutional attorney and author John W. Whitehead, the Rutherford Institute has become one of the nation's leading advocates of civil liberties and human rights, litigating in courts and educating the public on a wide spectrum of issues affecting individual freedom in the United States and around the world. The Institute's mission is twofold: to provide legal services in the defense of civil liberties and to educate the public on important issues affecting their constitutional freedoms. The Institute provides its legal services at no charge to those whose constitutional and human rights have been threatened or violated. The Rutherford Institute is a nonprofit 501c3 organization, gifts to which are deductible as charitable contributions for federal income tax purposes. Now, I told you that because the Rutherford Institute website has published an article on the Ninth Amendment, what it is and why it's important and what it stands for. It says here, Amendment 9, rights retained by the people. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. The framers of our Constitution were so concerned about civil liberties that they wished to do everything conceivable to protect our future freedoms and guard against government encroachment. But some framers, as we have seen, opposed the Declaration of Rights because it might appear that these were the only rights the people possessed. The Ninth Amendment remedied this by providing that rights not listed were nonetheless maintained by the people. Now, how do we prove that a right is a right? Are we supposed to have to prove that a right is a right? It says here the Ninth Amendment presents two of the most significant themes of our Constitution. The first is popular sovereignty, which holds that a government exists only to serve the interest of its people because the people themselves are the source of the government's power. Popular sovereignty, the belief that the power of govern flows upward from the people and rather than downward from the rulers. It is a hallmark of the American freedoms. This means that our rights are inherently ours and we the people created our government to protect them. The government did not, nor did it ever have the power to grant us our rights. The amendment assures that the national government never forgets this important principle. As James Madison noted, the ultimate authority resides in the people alone. As the Declaration of Independence affirms, governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. The second theme is the presumption of liberty. No one should ever be forced to bear the burden of proving why he or she should be able to exercise a particular right, unless they can tell you that what you think is a right is not really a right. That's where the rub comes in. That's the catch-22. Now, how do we prove that a right is a right? Well, it says here that we're not to bear the burden of proving why he or she should not be able to exercise a particular right. Now, if we can prove that a right is a right, we don't have to prove why we should be allowed to use said right. We should just be able to use it. But how do we prove that a right is a right? That's the thing. After all, the Declaration of Independence states that we are endowed with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In sum, the Ninth Amendment serves as a meaningful check on federal powers and a significant guarantee of individual liberty. That's true, it is, if they follow the Ninth Amendment the way it was written and also in the spirit of how it was written and why it was written. But so far, courts and federal government and a lot of the people do not want to do that. It says here, the Bill of Rights along with the limit. Okay, in sum, the Ninth Amendment serves as a meaningful check on federal powers and a significant guarantee of individual liberty. It is also important to remember that the rights guaranteed in the Bill of Rights, along with the limitations placed on the government, were never intended to be an exhaustive list. Rather, the Bill of Rights is merely a starting point. It's just a for instance. The founders understood that the balance of power should always fall in the favor of the people, not the government. Indeed, the real power and authority under our Constitution, as clearly demonstrated in the Ninth Amendment, rest in those three revolutionary words, we the people. Ninth Amendment today, the government continues to pass more and more laws that restrict our freedoms, and government officials claim they have an important government interest in doing so. All the while, the courts all but ignore the Ninth Amendment, usually claiming that it is impossible to interpret its limits. As our homes are taken by the government, police intrusively break into our residence and without even knocking or announcing their presence, and the government agents listen in on our phone conversations and read our emails. The freedom enshrined in the Bill of Rights are in jeopardy, including those not specifically named but protected nonetheless by the Ninth Amendment. When the government can violate the non-enumerated rights granted in the Ninth Amendment, it is only a matter of time before it will trample the enumerated rights of the people as explicitly spelled out in the rest of the Bill of Rights. Yet, it is up to the American people to reclaim the rights that are being taken away from them by the government. Unless more people take a stand for their liberties, it won't just be the Ninth Amendment that is being ignored. Now, I personally don't believe that the people can do it. I don't believe that Americans as a whole care about the Ninth Amendment. I don't think that the people as a whole care about their freedom. They're happy with the appearance of freedom. They're happy with this little bitty thing that the government gives us, and as long as they get through their personal day without any headaches and hassles, and they're able to make it home and watch their TV shows and go and watch a sports game on the weekend or whatever, that they're totally happy. While the government tramples on our rights and our freedoms, people in the United States could give a shit less. If you have an idea on the video I just did, let me know what you thought. If you think I'm wrong, tell me. If you think I'm right, tell me. If you happen to have an idea for a video, please put a comment below. If you think I should be kicked off the planet and moved over to Mars, please let me know that too. If you like my videos, put a big thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to my videos, please hit the bell. If you got an idea for a much better video that you think I can do, please let me know what it is. I'd love to hear from you. This has been All Things Considered. Have a good night, America, and all points beyond.